What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Mic Check podcast. This is your host, T-Word, the People's Champ. Checking in with a quick ringside update. We've got a fight coming up this weekend between Michel Rivera and Frank Martin, two fringe contenders looking to align themselves for some championship fights in the very near future at the 135-pound, aka the lightweight division. So, Frank Martin and Michel Rivera will be fighting on Showtime Championship Boxing on Saturday, December 17th, and this is looking like a really good matchup. I've been following Frank Martin for a while. He is Errol Spence's fighter, and he's going to be taking on Rivera, who's a really tough customer. Now, these guys don't have a whole lot of fights. I believe Frank is around 16 total fights. Michel is around 21 or 22 total fights. So when you just look at the landscape of how early in their career these guys are, and they're going to be fighting each other, you just don't see that. As of late, the prospects and the fringe contenders have been looking to try and only fight champions or what a lot of people call tomato cans, the C-level fighters. These guys are stepping up to fight high-grade opponents to this time, and I think it's going to be a really good fight. I expect to see Rivera work behind his jab. He's going to try and use his footwork. He is a little bit bigger than Martin in terms of height, stature, etc. And I think that he's going to try to use his reach to his advantage. On the other hand, Martin is going to try to rough him up and get physical. I've seen him working more on his body attack. And he's also trained by Derek James, the same trainer that trains Jamel Charlo and Errol Spence. And if you know anything about those fighters, you know that they really work behind the jab and they like to attack the body and try to set up their shots to the body by working their way inside. So I look to see the same thing from Frank Martin, try to get past the long jab of Rivera. There are some issues with both fighters that could cause problems for them during the fight. And it's just defensive lapses at times, or sometimes it's just too much pattern. You'll see them do things repeatedly, and they'll just get stuck doing that thing over and over, and it's something that can be timed by the opponent. Well, what happened in the fight is when you get into the later rounds, 6, 7, or even 8, 9, and 10, the opponent has figured out what you're doing, and if they can be economic with their energy, they can take advantage of these mistakes, because anything that you're doing at the beginning, when you're at 100%, by the time you start to slow down, when you get tired, you're going to find yourself in trouble, because that opponent can now see exactly what you're doing, and it's coming at a slower pace. If they've kept the reserves in the tank, now they're able to take advantage of those lapses and really put you on your ass. So for Rivera, I think that the main thing he'll need to do is sometimes Frank Martin, he'll overextend and he'll kind of stick his chin out, not really leave it in the air. It's just he'll overextend and try to get some work to the body, and that'll put him in a compromised position because he's putting too much weight on the front foot, and all of a sudden he can't get back to a defensive position. And you'll see where Rivera can counter that with a nice stiff jab, double up, maybe come with the 1-2. Just something simple can set Frank up for a kill shot later on if he's not careful. On the other side, Rivera doesn't always use his footwork to his advantage. And even when he's kind of the bigger fighter, and even though they're the same weight on fight night, height and a little bit of extra weight makes a difference. I don't think he's always effective at using those tools. And he's just trying to be the better fighter only. He's not trying to take his physical advantages to the next level. And that's some things that Frank will be able to take care of. If he's not fighting tall, Frank Martin will be able to kind of get inside and really do damage to the body. And that can make it a shorter night than it need be. By all accounts, I expect this to go the full distance. This is going to go the distance. I do have Frank Martin by UD, and I'm going to stand on that. I do think he'll outbox him. It'll be a close finish. You know, maybe it'll be just very close. You know, it might be a 1 or 2 round swing. That'll be the difference. I don't see a blowout either way. Now, on the rare chance that there's a knockout, I actually believe that if there is a KO, it's going to come from Rivera. He might catch Frank slipping, and it might just be a wrap for him. But I think Frank will outbox him because he's just more technically sound. So I do favor him in the decision, but I have Rivera if there's a knockout. So I'd love to hear what you all think about the matchup. Do you think it's too early for these guys to fight? What is your prediction? Go ahead and leave it down in the comments. This has been T-Word with the Mic Check. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to share the channel with your friends and family. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, peace.